All right, morning. It is Saturday. Your first English exam is on Monday morning. This video is for students who feel like they are cooked. If you only need to pass English literature and you are not too worried about accessing those higher grades, you just want to get through it and get a grade that is representative of your 2 years of work, then this video is for you. If you are someone that's looking for grade 6 and above, then I've got another video coming for you later, but this is for those of you that have been in my messages and are telling me that Shakespeare is written in a foreign language, you don't know what you're doing, you're feeling really disheartened, and that's the last thing we want for you as you go into your first big exam. So firstly, there are 4 things that I think you should be doing this weekend, and the first one is going over how to answer the exam questions. For Eduqas, you have 4 questions to answer on Monday. I've got lots of videos going through it. You need to go ahead and learn what you need to do and how long you need to spend on each one of those questions. Remembering that for this paper, which is marked out of 80, last year you only needed 26 out of 80 to get a grade 4. So you are not necessarily needing to write loads, know everything. You just need to write enough to get those 26 marks. So step 1 is, how do you answer the extract questions, the whole play question, the named poem question, the comparison? Go back and look at my previous videos for that. For the extract question, you are going to choose 4 quotes, one from the beginning, 2 from the middle, and 1 from the end, and that's all you're going to write about for this exam on Monday. For those 4 quotes, you are going to try and link them to one of the main ideas in the play, and the main ideas are power. And you should always be able to talk about power in some way. Betrayal, good and evil, ambition, Macbeth's ambition and desire to be king. And lastly, supernatural powers, whether that is the witches or fate or God. So those are 5 ideas, the main ideas in the play. You're going to try and link the quotes that you've chosen from the extract, the bits that you understand, ignore everything that you don't understand, find the bits that you do understand and try and link them to one of those ideas. All right, the third thing that you're going to do is you're going to go through and memorize the main events in the play. I'm going to try and put on the screen now, don't know how successful I'll be at that, the detailed list of what the main ideas are, but for you don't need to know every single little thing. You just need to know the big main events. And so in Act 1, that is the witches' prophecies and the plan to murder Duncan. In Act 2, that is Duncan's murder and the discovery of his body. In Act 3, that's Banquo's murder and then the banquet scene where Banquo's ghost appears. In Act 4, it's when Macbeth goes back to the witches again and sees the apparitions, and then it's all the prep for the final battle. Act 5 is Lady Macbeth's madness, lots of battle prep like cutting down trees, etc. And then the final battle where Macbeth is killed. For each of those acts, you're going to learn just 1 or 2 quotes. And I'm going to show you how I think it's the best way that you can learn quotes now. So I'm just going to turn my camera around. Okay, so you're going to have a piece of paper and you're going to fold it in half, like I have folded this one in half. And there are 2 ways of using this to memorise quotes. So firstly, draw a line all the way along and split your quotes up over the fold. So fair is foul, foul is fair. When I fold it in half, I can only see one half and I have to flip it to remember it. And you can see I've done that with, you can't say I did it. Never shake your gory locks at me. Okay, and so what you can do is you start off by memorising like this, then you fold it in half and you're like fair is foul, and you see how you can finish the quotes, and you get to the point where you can finish the quotes. Another way that you can use this folded one is You put the short quote, unsex me, here on one side, and then on the other side, you write 3 things that you can say about that quote. So it's links Lady Macbeth to Evil and Witches, shows that idea of violence and how she's rejecting her gender role. And again, you do that flipping. You do not want to make loads of these. So you are looking for 1 or 2 quotes from each act. So a maximum of 10 quotes from the whole play. And maybe even just 5 where you know you've got something that you could say about them. Then when you come to write about these quotes, you're going to do, as your first sentence after your quote, this implies, and you're going to say what the implication of that is. What does it mean? Then you're going to talk about this suggests, and this is where you go on to talk about one of those themes that we've had as our main 5 themes. Does it suggest that someone is power hungry, or that there is Macbeth's ambition in there? Is there a link to the supernatural? Then you're going to have Shakespeare wants the audience to think, and you're going to talk about whether you think this is the development of something positive or the development of something negative in the play. All right, so as a reminder, there are 4 things that you can do this weekend. Firstly, in fact, I'm going to turn the video around. Hold on. So there are 4 things that you can do this weekend then if you are absolutely panicking and you just need to get through the exam on Monday. You're not looking for getting really high grades. Firstly, make sure you know how to answer the questions. Go watch some other videos on that. Secondly, memorize those 5 key ideas that we see come up again and again and again in the play, because then you'll have something to say about the extract. Don't worry about the bits of the extract that you don't understand. Go hunting for the bits that you do understand. All right, thirdly, you are going to learn the main events that take place in Macbeth. Fourthly, you are going to learn, like I showed you on my notebook here, 1 or 2 quotes per act that you understand, that you know you could write about, and you can use those to support any sort of essay. All right, good luck.